guys, and welcome back to Beauty Fortified. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sue, and today I'm talking all about the Stila Camo palette. Now, I happened upon this on the internet quite by chance. I didn't know that it existed, and so I decided to get my hands on it because I was absolutely taken with not only the packaging, and I have been known to buy things based just on the packaging alone, but also on the shades. Now, I hadn't swatched these in store, but just looking at them online, I just fell in love. And it's a really beautiful shade of greens, browns, there's some taupes in there, and the color palette is just something that's really up my alley. And I just, having looked at it online, I just thought, well, this is something that I could really get quite a lot of use out of. So I purchased the palette. The first one that came was smashed to bits, so I had to go in store and replace it. So it's taken me a while to get this video up, but I was really impressed. And this is a really beautiful, and I call these neutrals. It's a neutral palette for if you're a more mature woman and you're kind of tired of your everyday browns and beiges. This is something that can really just give your eyeshadow game a lift, as it were, because the shadows are really beautiful. The quality is stunning. There are 4 shimmers in here, 4 mattes, although the one is not entirely matte, but they really are gorgeous. And you can also pair them up with, other transition shades or other palettes in your collection as well. So it really is quite versatile. And I just loved the packaging. It really appealed to me. And I just thought it was a really gorgeous everyday palette. You could really use these colors every single day. So I'm going to swatch the colors and then we're going to go on to how I achieved this eye look. Now, as I say, the colors are really gorgeous and buttery. I have swatched them on my hand. So just going from the top row left to right, you've got Fearless, which is a kind of khaki type bottle green shimmer. Then you've got Freedom, which has swatched very light, but it's a kind of beigey peach color. Then you've got Renegade, which is the chocolate brown. It does have tiny little speckles of gold in it, so it's not a true matte. And then you have Victory, which is a true gold. And then the second row from left to right, you've got Unstoppable, which is quite a peachy transition matte shade. Then you have Maverick, which is a kind of minty, greeny, blue, beautiful metallic. Then you've got Triumph, which is a silver taupey color. And then you've got Warrior, which is a forest green color. So it really is beautifully laid out, and there's a lot that you can do with this palette, but I'm going to show you how I achieved this look today. I've done the one eye just to speed things up a bit. So going in onto this eye, I'm going to take an all-over shade, and that's the beigey, pinky shade there, or it's more beige actually. And I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to put that all over the lid, up into the crease, and onto the upper lid. I do have hooded eyes, so I just want a little bit of color on the upper lid just to make the hoods recede slightly. And this shade is really quite light, but it's really buttery, and it just blends beautifully, and it's going to create a gorgeous canvas for the rest of the eyeshadow. So just a little bit of that all over the lid. And then going on to the lower lid, I'm going to take a little pencil brush, and I'm just going to dab it into the same beige shade, just to line the lower lash line, just to give it a hint of definition there. And then I'm going to go onto the upper lid, and for that I'm going to use this mint green type bluey shade. So it does look quite minty in the pan, but it comes off with a little bit of blue in it. It's really gorgeous. Taking a flat eyeshadow brush, I'm going to dip a little bit of that into the shadow. And then I'm just going to apply it on my upper lid. I'm just lifting my lid slightly because it is quite hooded. And I'm just going to pat on the shade. There's a little bit of fallout with these metallics. There always is with most metallics. But it's really nothing too annoying at all. So just patting that all over the lid. And it really is just such a gorgeous color. Now, it has given me a little bit of fallout on the inner corner, but I am going to clean that up afterwards. You can use an eye primer with metallics, obviously, and a very good one to use is the Milani eyeshadow primer. I'm not using a primer today. You don't absolutely have to with these shadows, but it will just increase the longevity. So now that I have put on the little minty shade, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do this eye slightly differently to this eye. So on this eye, I used this forest green on the outer corner. And for this eye, I'm going to be using this shimmery green. So it's a kind of metallic bottle green khaki color. So I'm going to use a little bit of that on the outer corner. Taking a pencil brush, I'm just dipping it into the shade. And then I'm just going to gently apply it on the outer corner, and it just helps to give a little hint of definition. And this is just such a gorgeous, oh, it's just too divine. Obviously the one that I used on this side on the outer corner was the forest green shade, which is a matte shade. But just for a little bit of drama, we're using the dark green metallic shade. And I do have to lift my hoods a little bit, just pat it on there. And then taking a tiny bit more, I'm going to line my lower lid. I'm going to do the outer 2/3, and I'm going to use this shimmery shade as well, just on the outer third. And it's not giving me a huge amount of payoff on the lower lid, but that's absolutely fine. It's just giving me a hint of shimmer. Oh, it's just gorgeous. So I'm going to just clean up where I have got a little bit of fallout, and I'll be back to finish off the eye. So I've cleaned up all the fallout. You might want to do your eyes first if you're using this palette and do your foundation later. The shimmers, when they do get onto your skin, it is quite difficult to get them off. So that's just a warning. I've applied 2 coats of mascara. Today I've gone in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. And that is pretty much the finished look. So just onto the color combinations in this palette. There's so many things that you can do with this, and you can really play around with it, and it really is just such fun. But the way that it's been laid out with the shimmers and the mattes, these kind of go together. So you could have a whole eye look there. So already you've got 4 eye looks, and then again you can also combine the shadows. So it's a palette that you can really have fun with, and it's just a great deviation from everyday neutrals. So guys, if you have used this palette, please let me know what you think about it. I'd love to hear your comments. Please leave your comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.